Tony's Garage, starring Uncle Tony and Uncle Kathy. This is Buff Del Campo inviting you to join Tony and Kathy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Tony.
What's going on? No clapping?
No
I'm
clapping.
supposed to do like a monologue?
There's nobody on.
Yeah, you guys stand up to
There's
them
nobody-
all.
all right, well, I'm just going to sit down and hell with it.
Okay, I'll come up here.
I
and
was
sit
going to
down.
tell all sorts of like Kenny Youngman jokes.
No, you told me to do this last week and I couldn't pull it off.
No, you did it this
So
time.
I did it this time.
Exactly.
Very good.
We should call this the Buff Campo Show, honestly.
No, see, I'm just kind of horning in on this and having fun.
What's up, Joe Balls?
It's
Joe
Balls.
Bonnie, Luis Lopez, Dakota,
Dakota.
Corey
fuck,
Gentry,
Dakota's
Boots 77, Blackman,
here. Why don't
8795.
you handle all the Dakota stuff?
What's up, James? Happy Father's Day, guys.
Happy Father's Day,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody.
Cobra, Wyland,
I'm going to hand off certain.
Hammer, Ben,
Oh, well, I might not have good answers.
That's fine.
Anthony.
They might be good questions. So,
Why do I get those?
What's
So-
up, Benjamin,
so
Kurt,
you're gonna,
Ted Lane.
We'll try this out. We'll give you Dakota first. Dakota's yours.
He has to answer all of Dakota's
Yes,
questions.
answer all of Dakota's questions.
What's up, Northern Grit, John Woodworth?
It's the roll call of all of our regulars.
Yep, Jeff
Hello,
Barnett,
and welcome
Terry.
to Sunday night. And here we are at the racetrack gas station, right off of exit 80 on I-24. Beautiful Midtown Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And if you guys are in the general area and you want to come by and be a part of this, bring yourself, bring your car, bring your family. You've got a thick stripper girlfriend. Baron, if you want
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
to. Happy Father's Day.
Anthony, you have kids? Yes.
Yes, I have reproduced. I have grandkids. I have 2 granddaughters.
I'm watching the Bottle Rocket video right now. We'll check back in later.
All right. Thanks for the update.
That's a good video.
I thought it was a good video. I'm still wearing the same clothes I was wearing last night.
We're kind of
I
exhausted.
took a shower, got in the car, drove down here, listened to the video.
Yeah, no, I'm
Here I
still there.
You're still
I'm still there.
I've had days like that.
Oh,
See how
my
nice
goodness.
it is?
Oh, it's
An
gorgeous.
hour ago it was pouring rain.
Yeah,
It's
please.
beautiful now.
Yeah, look at the sky. It was a little on the humid side, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not like
Twin Carmike says Lamb Chop did great.
I think he did too.
Let's see.
I love. Did you read the comments on that video?
no, I was driving. So what I was doing is glancing at it once in a while, but I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah. You treat it like a podcast. Yeah.
So, yeah, because I was in traffic.
Well, I was just gonna say, I found it made me feel good how supportive the comments were towards Lamb Chop and his efforts, and it shows that our people actually get it. There's always gonna be, if you got 100 people, right? There's gonna be 2 or 3 that are just like, you know what I mean, like little
Should've done
fucking
this, you
dark
should've-
malcontents, right? Of doom and right, but the other 97 of them are like, I get it, I understand what you're doing, that's great, and to see how supportive everybody was of Lamb Chop made me feel good, not just about like that video, but just like everything we do. You know what I'm saying? It was like a reaffirming thing.
You're in that instructor position on the first day, and you did okay.
Well, that's what I am. I
But you
am an
can't.
instructor.
But I've done this with airplanes, but you got to ride in the airplane with the person. He's off solo, right at first,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, but it's different. It's hard to tell somebody, it's hard to yell at them when they're in an airplane,
Right.
Hey, left rudder,
Right.
That doesn't really work.
it's like after when they solo and you hope they do.
But 15 seconds after he's done what he's done, I could go up and talk to him
Yeah.
and say, hey, you did this, that, and the other thing,
Yeah,
Hey,
it was interesting.
we're ignoring our
Yeah, let's hear some questions.
Steven says, why a stick and not a 727?
because it's a small motor. It's a 318, and there's several reasons for it. The first is the most obvious, because we can do it. The second is because it's a small motor. It's a 318, and it's moving a lot of car. The manual transmission takes less overall power to make it through the drivetrain than an automatic does. Third is because eventually, after all of this is said and done, I plan street racing this car. And to street race a car, you have to be able to tailor it to like every type of street condition there is. Now, with an automatic, it's a little harder than it is to do with a stick. So there's a lot of different reasons why we decided to go with a stick on the car, but we're not going back. We're going to make it work. Oh, and that particular transmission, because we intend on running on nitrous, and that long second gear, right? It's got a ridiculously long second gear. That long second gear is where we're going to hit it. That's where we plan on making our move with the car.
What's up, John? What's up, 426 Rich? Nick says, how much spray do you plan on putting on Bottle Rocket?
We're going to start at 100 and keep going until it gives us what we want. I'm prepared to spray 300 at it, and I think it'll take it for 2 or 3 passes.
Rude Mopar Dude says, Happy Father's Day. Happy
Thank
Father's
you,
Day, everybody. Andy says, Buffalo Valley is a tough track with a stick. I know what Lamb Chop was going through.
What's really hard about Buffalo Valley and a stick, and I didn't realize it until we got there, I know Buffalo Valley it's uphill. And I don't mean just a little uphill. I mean, it's like climbing Mount Everest, right? But it never occurred to me, like, ahead of time, well, with a stick, he's going to have to worry about rolling back. And that's exactly what he did. The first time he staged the car, he rolled into the beams, and then as he was waiting for the lights to come on, he started rolling backwards. Like, oh, I forgot about that. So, yeah, Buffalo Valley is a little difficult to run a stick on.
Let's see.
But you know what? If you can learn to do it there, you can master it anywhere. I always say, start with the worst thing you can start with. You know what I mean? Learn to drive a car with bad suspension or bad tires or bad whatever. Learn to make it work like that. And then when you get the good stuff, man, it just, everything just flows.
What gear is Bottle Rocket running?
It's got a 410 gear in it.
Okay.
We went with 410 instead of 456s, which is my initial inclination was to go 456s. But remember, nitrous. So even the 410 might be a bit much once we actually start spraying it.
Sebastian says, better tires next time out?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't bother spending money.
What do you? Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, what tires do you want to use?
Well, because it's a clutch, we're probably better off with a bias tire than a radial. I've never worked with drag radials before. I definitely want to work with drag radials, but I do know that a bias tire will work better with a clutch than the radial. So we're probably going to go to like an 8.5 inch. I'm thinking like an 8.5 by 28 bias tire, like a regular slick.
Nick says, long second gear with spray sounds like a plan. What can we do to improve down low? Kind of slow 60 foot, needed up top and down low.
Well, here's the thing you have to understand about this car. It makes huge power down low. You can't tell by the way that it's being driven in that video. You can get an idea of the kind of power it makes because he'll in that video he'll pull second gear and it spins the tires in second gear, the bottom of second gear. He's just not letting it eat off the starting line. And it's a balance. He'll get that. But I mean, I can tell you right now, I unloaded the car this morning and I was like, let me just take it for a little, blast around. So I took it to a nice piece of dry pavement and, clean pavement, I should say. And I laid into it the way I was trying to explain, to Lamb Chop last night to do it. And instantly the R's came up. I started pedaling back and kept the perfect balance, of tire spin. And when I hit the shift light, which was the same shift light that I was giving him, I power shifted second, and it literally just burned the tires and skated all the way through second gear. So the car makes huge power. You really can't. I can't explain to you how much power this thing makes. You'll see it for yourself. You can get an idea if you watch the video that we did about the I forgot what we called it. Do you remember the video we did about putting the air shock on the right side, Mopar suspension secrets or some shit like that?
I don't know.
I did a suspension video about 2 months ago. We were talking about preloading the suspension on the right side with an air shock, and we used Bottle Rocket to illustrate. And you can see with that, I just eased in, just swap feet, eased off the clutch, and it just spins the tires. It don't smoke the tire. It'll smoke the tires if you're flat-footed. But if you drive the car with some finesse, it'll just spin them. You know, it what's called black tracking. It's not going to smoke the tire, but it'll leave a black, track on the ground. And the car does that. Just, it's. Wait till you see this thing in action. Trust me on this. Once it gets the hang of it, you're going to be amazed.
Jody Wells sent you $5. He
Thanks,
says,
Jody.
roll up your windows, roll up your buglers. It's UTG time.
We're rolling up everything.
Kenneth says, huge power out of a 318. Come on, Tony, you're not serious, dude. You know nothing about cars.
Okay.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Who's that? Who is that ass clown? What's
Don't
his
worry
name?
about
What's
it.
his name? What's his name?
Kenneth.
Kenneth. Go watch the video, okay? Go back and watch the video that we just put out today. Watch the car after it overcomes the problem with the short shifting it, right? Go tell me how it moves and sounds and does what it does from 300 feet to the finish line. That's not power. What do you call that?
No, it will never make huge power. It's a 318.
Well, huge power is a relative speaking, it's
Right.
a relative term, okay?
Right.
There's Top Fuel Dragster huge
Right.
power. No, it's not going to make that, right?
It's not,
There's,
Tony?
there's Sonny Leonard Big Block power. No, it's not going to fucking make that. There's Twin Turbo LS power. No, it's not going to make that. Stock 318, and when I say stock, that motor's got a stock block, stock bore, stock piston, stock crank, stock rod, stock cylinder heads. Ported, right? Stock. Everything is stock in there. Huge power. That motor makes an honest 375, 400 horsepower. If that's not huge horsepower, you don't know what is. What's going on? Brandon, come on over, man.
Here, have a seat.
Go get
You're
another
next.
chair.
Grab my chair.
I'll grab a
Oh, I
chair.
didn't know I was going to be on the live show.
You're on. Yep. You came,
Very
and now
nice
you're
to meet
live.
you.
Nice to meet you too. That's Buff. That's
How you
Buff and
doing?
Kathy, and that's American. Or the world.
Oh, that's the world.
The world.
Say hi to the
Mopar
world,
Sweet is here.
Out to the world.
Mopar Den sent you $14.99. He says,
man. Mopar?
ask Tony how I can get Bottle Rocket's build sheet so I can have it framed for posterity.
I'll give that to you.
Okay, Mopar Den. You can have
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little wrinkly.
it's wrinkly, but it's there.
I cut the back brace, out of the and like I pulled the broadcast sheet out, and I was like, oh wait, no, it should stay in there just so that
Right.
people can so I stuffed it back in. So it's like it's a little wrinkly, but yeah, man, it's yours if you want it.
Yeah, Mopar Den, send me your address. UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com. Thank you, Mopar Den, for all you do.
Yes.
Okay. Buff, you're not in here.
I'm not in there?
No, you want to get in the middle?
Do I wanna
Behind
get in
them?
the middle?
Yeah, you want to put the chair behind them in the
Sit
middle?
over here, man.
Yeah, because you're off to the
Sit
side.
right here, bro.
Videos.
Oh, okay.
The videos.
I'm a Mopar man, but I have to drive the Chevrolet, so
Is that what you got with you tonight?
the Chevrolet, yes.
What is it?
It's a 2000 Silverado 5.3.
Anything done to it?
No.
It's just a driver.
But I have a 68 Plymouth Satellite. That was my first car that I've been sitting for like 15 years, and we just recently got it back on the road. But not ready to go 30 miles with it yet down the interstate.
I got you. I know. It's
Getting the
teething pains.
bugs worked out.
Well, that's it. It's like the same thing like what we did last night with the car at the track. It's teething pains. You have to think of, so like you built a project. Okay, you get it to yard drive. That's step number one. Then you get it to get itself to the gas station so it can actually retrieve its own fuel.
Exactly.
That's the major step of the project. You know that?
When you get your own fuel.
When the car can retrieve its own fuel, that's like, you've made it now. Then you use it to get like whatever it is, your midnight snackage, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be a beer run or a cigarette run or whatever it is that your late night snack is. That's the car's first journey out into the world.
That's like I told my oldest daughter, a mile at a time. Because the other day, everything's working fine, and it quits right in the middle of the highway, and just like you cut the key off. I jump out real quick because it's a bad spot, and just so happened the coil wire just slid off the coil, And that I just seen it dangling right there. You know, it's got a 440 in it, so everything's right there at the front of the engine. You know.
But yeah, it's the first. It's everything's, you know, baby steps. Get it to yard
That's
drive,
it.
get it to
That's it.
retrieve its own fuel, you know, and then bam, next thing you know, it's your everyday car.
Curtis says he misses Maggie, Lily, Darla, and Poppy.
As do I.
Rocky Meyer says the 1/8 mile times correlate with a quarter time better than Tony's 1580 record.
Yeah, but I wouldn't drive faster than that. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And anything you ever heard me say about going faster than 1580 is a lie.
It's all a lie.
No, really, I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? Not habitual. I'm a pathological liar.
Right.
So, you know, I honestly, I spent most of my life working in Kroger.
Right.
You know, the meat department,
Yeah.
mostly, right? But I did some stock.
You haven't
shelves
touched
here
a
and
car until like a year and a half ago?
there. YouTube videos.
Right.
I
That was
learned
the first
everything I know
time.
about cars from
Right.
watching YouTube videos. I have a photographic memory, so when I see somebody do a YouTube video, like Thunderhead 289, he'll do a video. I remember everything he does, and then I go ahead and I copy it. So yeah, that's just me.
Okay. John Wilburn says, I come back and Tony now have a child.
Yeah, we're slowly building.
Okay. I gotta get comfortable here.
Actually, I was at Buffalo Valley for like 3 Saturdays waiting on
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit! I'm sorry.
no, I mean, I've been meaning to go anyways, you know, but being testing tonight, there's not a lot of cool stuff there, you know, and, you know, but it is what it is.
Where do
And
you live?
I live on the other side of Manchester in a place called Vola, probably not even on the map.
I've never heard of it.
I'll just go ahead and tell people Manchester.
Manchester, it's
It's
easy
right
enough.
off the interstate.
Kenneth is still going.
What's the S sign say?
Let's see, the last thing he said was that car, even on spray, will not break 1050 ever. I got $100 on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Kenneth. Thank you very much for your input.
Hey Ken, while you're at it, do some research on power to weight. Go see what it takes. Do you know what bottle rocket weighs? Because try to wrap your head around the concept of power to weight. And then at some point I'll tell you how much the car weighs, and then you tell me how fast it'll go.
There you go. Let's see. Jody says everyone knows the secret to make a 318 run 10s in the quarter is unicorn piss and Skittles.
Unicorn piss?
And Skittles.
That's mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, that's the Italian speech secret. Mozzarella.
What's up, eFog3? Let's see. All right. Brian says, I'm glad to see people showing up. I will be there someday. Awesome.
Do you think we should introduce my idea for the group
Which group?
to generate world peace?
No. You're not going to find it here.
Anti-post.
Antipost?
Yes, I want to start a movement called Anti-Post. It's World Brotherhood and Peace through tasty appetizers,
Oh, right.
and I think we can do it. Where we go one, we go all.
Right. John says hello from Pensacola, Florida.
What's going on, John?
World peace is always good. Yeah.
So are tasty Italian appetizers.
Right. What's the location, guys? Where are we, Tony?
Right off the interstate.
Where? Yeah. there's the interstate right. There, exit 80. If you're on I-24, you get off exit 80. You look immediately to your right. You'll see a big yellow truck and a racetrack gas station, and 3 guys sitting in chairs. Or 4. You know, you're not a guy.
No.
3 guys and a girl sitting in a
Your
chair.
uncle.
It's Uncle Kathy.
Joe Mama says, I don't see you running any 8 seconds with it, that's for sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Who's the man in the middle?
The Buff Del Campo.
There's only one. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see.
I was actually there the other night with the 6-cylinder Dart. Made his last
God,
six
that
work.
was slow.
I was like, oh no. No. I knew there was some major problems there. somewhere.
Yeah, I did the calculation. It was putting 41 horsepower to the ground.
Oh, wow.
What's up, Barry? Ari says, love seeing Bottle
Ari,
Rocket
what's
move
going on?
around. He wants to drive it, he says.
Talk to Lammy about that. The seat's got his name on it, but if he wants to let you take a lap,
Kurt says, will drag radials be put on Bottle Rocket?
probably not drag radials. I think we're going to go with a bias tire because it's a stick. If it was an automatic or a trans brake car, yeah, we would definitely be going with a radial. I think we're going to go with an 8.5-inch bias tire.
That's very funny, King Eric.
What was that?
Don't worry. Pirate Lab says Tony has more patience than I do with the trolls.
I love the trolls. You don't get trolls unless you're successful.
Online System says, ask Tony what he thinks about camless technology, pneumatic valves, no throttle, etc.
Well, I mean, the camera technology's been around for a while, like in Formula One. As far as like drive-by-wire, well, I mean, that's been around in things like Formula One also. Myself, it's not, I mean, I understand it. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. It's not for me. I'm the automotive Amish. I like simple. I want simple things. I want primitive things in my life.
Unity Motorsports Garage says, I'll be there when you shake it down.
Okay. I hope he's talking
Dalton,
about the car.
yeah, Dalton Miller says, want to hear more on the car that won't go 1080. Uncle Tony, show him how it's done.
We'll get there, and we'll see how it's done. I don't know how we're going to get there yet. I know we're going to get there. I don't know how we're going to get there yet. One step at a time.
Have we ever been to Lemore's in the 80s? We didn't go to Lemore's.
Where? I may have gone once.
I was too young.
She was too young.
I couldn't get in. Poor Tony must look to the troll post like stunad.
Like I said, I get a kick out of it. To me, they're a sign of success.
Oh,
Nobody trolls the unknown. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, if I don't have trolls, it means that I'm slipping.
Chip sent you $4.99. He
Thank you,
says
Chip.
keep it up. Thank you, Chip. Carl says love seeing Lamb Chop driving the car. Can't wait to watch him improve.
Same here.
How you doing?
Who's that?
I don't know. Dakota says,
Good, how you doing?
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
Thanks.
Day.
We've been to run out of gas.
ran out of gas.
I got the hiccup.
You got the hiccups and you ran out of gas.
Yeah, so we're going to run out of gas. We're going to run out of gas. 'Cause y'all have, we don't need no, we don't need y'all to give us no money.
Okay.
We just, please get us a couple of gallons of gas.
You have a gas tank? We're actually live right now. Yeah. you're on
Yeah.
TV.
Okay. Okay, well, I ain't a criminal or nothing, so, you know, I'm not, you know,
You have a gas can?
where you park? Right here?
All right, if you want to push it over to the gas tank, I'll put a couple of gallons in there for you.
It's parked over here.
All right?
The car's parked right there.
Okay. Yeah, help them. Here, Puff. Here, here, don't, here. Here, it's $5.
Sorry for the interruption, guys.
All right, back to our regular.
This is part of the skit.
Well, Puff goes to take care of the world.
Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, random dude.
Yeah.
His wife pregnant too. Joseph sent $6. Buy the guy $6 worth of gas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Troll. You gave him money, right,
I
Tony?
gave money, yeah.
All right. All right.
Only because I know he really needs the gas.
Okay. Hey, Tony, you pass me my tea. I can't move. Tell him to do a burnout on the way out, Charles says.
Pull from $100 to burn the tires off.
This is what happens when you're out in public. All right. Hey, Tony.
I think Puff is going to fill him up.
No, Buff is a good guy. Tony, can you open this? I can't do it with one hand. Sorry, guys, for the interruption. All right.
Sure.
Okay. You have a heart of gold, Uncle Tony.
Mozzarella. It's actually a heart
Mozzarella.
of
Tony has
mozzarella.
a heart made of mozzarella and antipasto. I don't know about that guy, Dakota says. Okay.
Don't take Dakota statements or questions until Buff gets back.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Colleen sent $5. Subject change. How about Slick 50 or Motor Coat for the 5.7?
It's not going to make any difference.
No?
No.
Jody Wells sent $5. This is burnout. Burnout money. Was he high?
He was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was in
Okay.
a state of interest.
What's
inside.
up, Olive?
I really believe Buff is filling him up. Go easy there, Buff.
Okay. Randy McQueen says, I'm impressed how Bottle Rocket sounded, and I think you will get there.
I know we'll get there, but thank you. What do you think? Have you seen that? What do you-
No, it was posted when I was leaving, so I didn't see it.
It's a great video.
How far did you drive?
Let's see. 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was a trip.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think
Okay.
Actually, probably my car wouldn't be back out if it wasn't for him a few more.
Very cool.
Do you have any
Just put me in the mood.
We have some stickers.
but us first, right?
Yes.
Us first, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We were his
Bottle
chief
Rocket.
inspiration. Bottle Rocket was his chief
No, actually, I
inspiration.
think the very first video was the tag job on the Duster. Actually, I thought it was my grandma's over there.
Really? Did you hear one of the tags cars?
The red car.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying your grandmother, she tags cars.
Oh no.
No.
I don't know.
No, she bought. Hers.
Some
She
of us
bought.
have some pretty interesting
Yeah.
grandmothers.
Yeah, she bought the car at 1 year old, so she had it since 71.
Are they off and on their way, Buff?
Yeah.
Yeah. You okay, Buff?
It's a funny story, but I don't know if I should tell it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, don't tell
Huh?
her.
Don't. Let's try to move past it. Yeah,
I
let's
think
look
I got
past
plenty
it.
of gas.
I think Dakota was saying something.
He
What
was.
saying?
Yeah, I gotta find him again. He'll be back.
Yeah. All right.
Well, they have gas.
That guy probably makes $1 million a year.
Oh, easy. Easy.
He has one of the biggest YouTube channels.
It's too bad
Right?
it doesn't run on alcohol.
That's a good thing for a YouTube channel. You're just
What's that?
randomly scrolling around asking people for gas.
See what they say.
Honestly, I think that we get a lot of views.
Yeah, that'd be.
Oh, okay. Directions to the top secret streaming location. I'm coming from New York. I'll be there in 9 hours.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, well, yeah, come on down.
Yeah, we'll hang out for 9 hours.
We'll wait for you.
4 people sleeping behind a yellow truck.
Oh my goodness.
But for anybody who's in the area and wants to drop by, try to bring a car, right? Show off your car. We're right immediately off of exit 80 on I-24. So if you get off the exit and you look to your right, you'll see a racetrack gas station, and we're sitting near the back of it,
Right.
drinking delicious racetrack gas.
And giving people gas.
Yeah.
Gas.
No, it's coffee. Delicious racetrack coffee. Racetrack.
Dakota says, let's hear the story. What story? Which story, Dakota?
Wants to hear it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Buff, tell the story.
Tell him a story?
Yeah.
Well, he's low on gas, so he gave him $5. I decided to top it off, and it took $5.30, and it was hard to squeeze it in there.
So he wasn't out of gas.
So that big Buick had a lot of gas in it when it pulled up. So
Okay. All right. Mrs. Fagan says, why doesn't Tony drive Bottle Rocket?
Because it's lamb chops. When we, I said it in the comments, I've said it in videos, I'll say it again. When we started the project, the goal was to take an undesirable scrapyard car, we bought it for $300, and build it on an extreme budget, and have a novice run this thing down into the tanks. So that was the intended goal behind the car. From the very first, time a wrench touched that car, it was Lamb Chop was designated to be the driver. And him learning all of this is part of it. You know what I'm saying? I could get in the car and go make runs. I've driven 1,000 fucking cars, made 1,000 fucking runs with them. But what are you going to learn from that? Or where's the interesting part of that? It's better when you've got a novice and we're going to follow him through the steps and coach him along. And that's besides the point. I have no desire to drive it. I have no desire to drive anything. I don't even want to drive this fucking truck home now. I would rather have somebody else driving it. I have my fun in the shop. I have my fun in the pits.
Well, there you go. Now he can sell the gas and buy beer.
Yes. Come back in a half hour. You want to buy some gas?
Right. Oh my goodness.
You got enough gas?
You should show him how to power shift, though. Would it have been better if you rode along with him? If you did a ride along?
Yeah, it might have, but you know what? I don't want to do that. I want him to be in the car, and I want him to be in control and use his own mind.
Right, but he needs something to work off of. If you could have done a ride along with him,
First
I
off,
think
he's
it
not
would have
ready
been.
for power shift.
Right.
Okay, first let's get him to where he can speed shift. Let's get him to where he can launch the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Control any wheel spin. They're in first gear. In other words, like keep it from freewheeling, but also keep it from bogging. Walk that line, and then learn how to speed shift the car. Then we'll go to the next step, and he'll be power shifting it. But it's not time for that yet. One little bit at a time.
Oh, Doug Reno says Pinewood Derby story, you Tony.
I'm going to do a whole video on the Pinewood Derby thing.
Are you?
Yes, I absolutely.
Why would you do a video on that?
Because it's a good story.
You gonna do a video on that?
Yes.
Okay. It is a good story. Perfect for Father's Day, though. Perfect for Father's Day.
You ever eat that when you were a kid?
No, but my kids do.
Yeah, when I was a little kid,
I built one.
Mopar Denson, $49.99 for the Bottle Rocket Fund.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wow.
He's too generous.
Mopar Den, make sure you send me your address. UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com.
Thank you, man. I really
I'm gonna
appreciate
get that thing in the mail to
Bottle
you.
Rocket appreciates it.
Okay, it's Dakota. You
Yeah.
ready, Buff? I was telling this guy, replied to me on the comments on the new vid. He was talking about how Bottle Rocket was a slouch, and I told him to sit back and wait for Lamb Chop to learn how to drive it.
excellent.
Excellent. Very good.
Hey, do you want to handle the trolls?
Why not? You can always give that stuff to me.
You have Dakota. Dakota's a handful.
Dakota says the guy honestly thought Bottle Rocket was a slow car.
Okay.
Well, I mean, compared to there are other very fast cars out there, but that's not how it's built.
Bottle rocket without a bottle.
Right.
That's the thing. The faster cars down there can sell fuel around 6 and 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, and slow. When really it's, you know.
That car running an 8. He ran a 9 something, like a mid-9, whatever it was. Like just go and then like bogging the car, short shifts and everything. It's still a 9 something. All he had to do was just launch it cleanly and get a decent shift off. It would have been a mid to a high 8 without doing any tuning. I only had 30 degrees of timing in this one.
The 9s is still great, but 10.
I think I know, but what I'm saying
With all
is
things
the
considered.
potential is there, right? And I knew he was going to have a hard time with wheel spin. because
Speak
the
up.
car-
You gotta speak up so this phone can hear you.
I knew he was going to have a hard time with wheel spins because the car wants to freewheel in first gear. So I sent him out there with 30 degrees of timing. You know, it'll run at 34, but I mean, I probably took, I want to say 25 to, anywhere between like 25 to 40 horsepower away just to make it easier for him to drive, you know?
Lionheart says, Tony, you gonna run slicks or radials on Bottle Rocket?
Slicks. We're going to go with slicks. And as I said, it's because it's not that I have anything against drag radials, but a clutch car will work better with a bias tire, where an automatic car will work better with a radial.
Mike says, Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's
you,
Day,
Mike.
everyone. Matt says, what? Did he put spray on a Pinewood car or something? No. King Eric sent you $1.99.
Thank you, King.
He says, use your lighter to check the guy's gas tank level.
By the way, on that Pinewood Derby car, I built a Pinewood Derby car that was so trick. It was so scienced out. It was so completely over the top that it wouldn't go down the track. You remember?
I remember.
It
Randall
wouldn't go
says-
down.
Well, they put it into. I'm not going to say it.
I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story.
Go ahead, tell the story.
Should I tell the story? All right, I don't want to bore anybody.
Tell the story.
You never bore anybody.
Oh,
So-
Tony's boring.
So that this was my kids wanted to try the Boy Scouts, right? And I went and actually took scout fucking classes, scout leader classes, whatever.
Tony
I never
was a
liked them.
scout
They were a
leader.
bunch of creepy bastards. I never liked them. Okay, but I says, you know what? All right, my kids want to be involved in this. I'm gonna become a scout guy. I'm gonna learn how to tie all the fucking knots and do all this shit, right? So the Pinewood Derby thing comes up.
Okay, everybody imagine UT as a scout leader.
So this Pinewood Derby thing comes up, and for those guys who don't know what this is, they give you a block of wood, like it's a block of fucking like 2x4, and some plastic wheels and some metal axles, and out of this you got to build a car. The kids are supposed to build a car. The kids never build the car. The parents always build the car. So I says, you know what? We're gonna go all the way. So I says, this is going to be trick. I'm going to pull out every. Now this is the time I was running Top Fuel, right? And who was it? Mike Majira, the wing guy. We had just bought a wing from this guy Majira, who was like this aerodynamicist, like extraordinary. He was like the guy, right? So he was the one who developed the triple element wing. So make a long story short, I had just bought a wing from him, and I call him up and I says, hey.
You called him for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, I'm going to build this Pinewood Derby car, right? It's a gravity car. He was familiar with it.
Mark Shaw says today we earned the smoking badge. Go ahead, Tony.
All right. So I spent hours on the phone with him, right? And we're going back and forth, and we decided on, a teardrop shape for this thing, okay? So he gave me his input on where and how the various curves should be and so on and so forth. So I did this, right? I whittled this thing into like a teardrop shape. And remember, a teardrop, the leading edge of it is the big, this part of it, and then, the tail of it is the back, okay? I spent a week carving this thing, getting all these intricate like curves and lines, and it had to come up this way and then this way and out that way. It was like this intricate, crazy shape, right? It looked like what were the frogs before it becomes a frog?
Hollywood.
Yeah, it looked like
Tadpole.
a tadpole.
Tadpole.
Yeah, right. It looked like a wooden tadpole, right? So. The wheels, I turned them down, right, so that there was
Talk louder.
I turned them down so that they were like literally like razors, okay? There was like nothing, I use a low viscosity graphite grease on these things, and then I hollowed out the very front of it, okay? I hollowed out the ball part of this thing, the very, very front of it, and I filled it with lead fishing weight. Okay, so melted lead weight filled the hole with it, and I got it to where it had the balance point that the back wheels were just on the ground. So if you set this thing on the ground, so all four wheels are on the ground, and you went like this, on the nose, it would go like that. Okay, this thing was so now I built a test track for it, and when you put it on the test track, right, you let go of this thing, and as soon as you let go of it, like it's gone. Okay, it's like it was like sudden motion, just. Right? We got this, okay? This is the most sophisticated, trickiest, over-the-top Pinewood Derby car ever conceived by man, right? So we go to this competition they're having, right? And we enter the car, and it's like I kind of felt bad now because like there was all these other cars like they shaped like fire trucks, or you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, look, I get this
Don't you feel
space age
guilty?
fucking tadpole over here. Fuck it, I don't care. We're gonna win this thing. So getting towards the end, they picked like my car was one of the last ones, right? And I get to the end.
You mean your kid's car?
My kid's
Right, not your car.
one of-
$600
Yeah.
block.
So the girl who's operating the track, she takes my car and puts it on the track backwards, so that the front of it, she didn't know. She just figured, well, the big end goes to the back and the small end goes to the front, like on a dragster. So she put it on the track backwards, and when they pulled the thing to make it go, the car just sat there. It wouldn't move because the weight bias was such that it was like leveled out. Gravity had no effect on it.
Very sad story, Tony.
Yeah, that was my one and only Pinewood Derby.
Mike Johnson sent you $20. Thanks as
you,
always,
Mike.
guys. Thank you, Mike. Tony. Let's see. It says,
By the way, that's a recurring theme in my life. Is
What?
tripping myself out of the ballpark.
right.
I do that a lot. I think I've got some Wile E. Coyote in my bloodstream.
Dakota says, didn't Joel not tell the woman to turn it around?
Dakota.
I wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
I don't know.
What happened was that she was, she
It
just
hap-
grabbed it and you couldn't really say
Yeah, I
anything.
couldn't really say anything. I was like, there was a crowd around it, and I was back a little bit, and it just happened so fast I couldn't say anything.
But it lost.
Yeah.
It didn't move.
Sad.
It just sat there.
That's a sad story, Tony. Let's see. Tony, what's your opinion on torque plates for honing?
For honing,
Yeah.
not really necessary. For boring, yeah. For honing, no. It's not a bad idea, but it's not crucial like it is when you're honing. Like when you're boring, I should say.
DJ Shea says, I have an opportunity to pick up a late model small block Chevy crate engine. All stock except for mild cam. Has a central valve cover heads. Should I throw some heads on it? What am I looking at for power?
It's got the Vortec heads. Those are good heads. I would just leave what's on there. If anything, take them, pop them off and give them a quickie port job. Clean up the bowls, gasket match it, back face the valves. You'd be surprised what you can get out of that.
Slowest Pinewood car ever. Yeah.
It was zero. It
Stop.
achieved zero.
Tony. Such is life. Okay, how much can you hone something? If I got one cylinder that's got some rust, can I keep honing for 3 hours until it's gone? How much is too much ring cap?
I once honed a cylinder 60 over. I hand honed a cylinder 60 over at the track. It took so long. Like I started at midnight, and the sun was up, and I was still honing this thing. It was we had one piston. This is when we had the fuel car. We had one piston that was 60 over. We didn't have any liners for it, so I honed a liner 60 over. And I remember having to wrap rags around the drill. It was too hot to hold on to. I was getting muscle spasms.
No smoke.
Oh man, it was terrible. We had to change the brushes in it. We swapped the brushes from something else. We burnt the one set of brushes. Yeah, I once hand honed the cylinder 60 over. I think they had like 3,000 bore taper when I was done, which is a lot, but I mean, you know what? Hold a cylinder 60 over and just have 3,000 bore taper. You're doing good.
Lionheart says, everyone who knew you was like, and this guy is supposed to be a mechanic, laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
Kind of like now. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Paul says that's almost as sad as UT beating up on Lamb Chop at the drag strip. Did you beat up on Lamb Chop at the drag strip?
Did I beat up on?
I hadn't watched the video.
He hasn't.
Do you, Paul, let me ask you a question. Do you think that I would let him beat up on Lamb Chop at the drag strip? Are you out of your mind?
You started off that video. Apologize. I don't know. I thought it was.
I didn't beat up on him.
I don't think you beat up on him.
I was aggressive with him. right? Because I was trying to emphasize points. I was trying to get him to come around, you know. But again, like I said, but beat up on him?
No.
Absolutely not.
He kissed him. That's right, Rocky Myers. He kissed him.
This is what I'm saying. You do something. If there's 100 people, 3 of them are going to be like, right? And then 97 of them are like, oh yeah, I get it. I understand. I see what you're talking about.
You poked him in the port. It was totally accidental. Did you not see Tony's face when he realized?
I was playing with him.
Right.
That's called friendship. That's
Right.
what friends do, you fucking idiot.
It was a training moment, yeah. It didn't sound as bad as the pre-apology, I guess Olive says. Grabbed him right by the port. He didn't realize.
I was grabbing him by the collar.
Right,
the way
by his shirt.
Right.
Like friends would do.
You sure you don't want to handle the 12? How about the idiot? Just handle the idiots. No.
Uncle Tony is tough love is all.
I'm like the drill sergeant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, my life is not a popularity contest. If I'm there to do a job, if I'm there to get something done, well, fuck, that's what I'm there to do. And sometimes you have to yell to get the job done. Sometimes you have to get people's face to get the job done. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not looking to make friends. I'm not looking to become any more popular than I already am. I'm here to do a fucking job. So I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. Sometimes I gotta yell. Sometimes I gotta curse. Sometimes I gotta shake my hand. Sometimes I gotta fucking throw something. It's just all part of it.
Right. Well, this isn't Motor Trend TV.
Yeah, this isn't Motor
This
Trend.
is real life, right?
This is
And
real.
none of it is faked.
And that's why I insist when we make mistakes with things, you know, whatever. Yeah, we show the mistakes too. When we don't hide anything. We send it out the way it actually is. I'll explain why it's that way. Sometimes I don't understand why it's a certain way until afterwards. But either way, we make a mistake or we screw something up, we send it. And then we figure out what we're wrong. And I explain it to you guys because sometimes I'm learning as I'm going along too.
Well, mistakes are part of the learning process.
Mistakes are part of the learning process.
I don't know how you can learn anything without making mistakes.
You're screwing around with cars. This isn't an hour-long show on Motor Trend, you know, where they start off, let's go to this guy's place and see what kind of shit he's got. Okay, let's buy this car. And then, like, you know, 55 minutes later, it's like it's at the auction and somebody's spending $185,000 for it and everybody's counting big chunks of fucking cash. That ain't how it works in the real world. You want to know how it works in the real world? Watch this fucking channel. This is how it works in the real world.
Let's see. Private Pile. Gunnery Sergeant Arlie Tony.
I've been that guy many times. When I used to train people for the race cars, when we were doing that shit. And by the way, you know, yeah, I mean, enough of that. Like, I'm teaching Lamb Chop how to drive this car.
Honestly, I think you were mild with him. Compared to how I know that things are like with fuel cars.
How many guys did I help get their fucking fuel license?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that I didn't have a fuel license myself, or I did at the time. The IHRA license,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's I'm gonna say 3, definitely 3 people. I got their fuel license for them, you know, because I coached them in how to fucking drive a goddamn fuel car. Because as a mechanic, tuner, and whatnot, I knew how the cars worked. So I knew how to explain to them what to do, when to do it, why to do it, where to do it, and then get over that thing. Because like Lamb Chop is experiencing a little bit of the problem I used to have with the new fuel drivers. Because what would happen was they'd hit the gas, the car would go 2 feet, and they'd be hanging the fucking chutes because it's like it has to be over, right? You know, there's things that happen, like what you experience inside of a car and what you experience outside of a car, 2 completely different things. What you're watching on a video and what's going on actually inside somebody's head who's sitting in a car, whether it's a Top Fuel dragster or a fucking or a roach like fucking Bottle Rocket, man, there's a big disconnect between the reality of that and what you're seeing and what you're perceiving from the outside. My job is to bridge that.
I think you were good with him. I mean, if I think of like Jerry Caminito.
Jesus.
Right. It's everything is military,
Yeah.
basically. It's like being in the military. So I think that Tony wasn't so as harsh as you think he was. Uncle Tony rules. He didn't beat up on Lamb Chop. No, he absolutely did not beat up on Lamb Chop.
Did you see us smiling and laughing
Right.
at the end of the night? Because Lamb Chop knows if I'm yelling or if I'm fucking agitated or if I'm frustrated, I'm not picking on him. I'm on, and I'm trying to get him up to that same fucking level of being on. You know what I mean? He understands that, and then after it's all over with, we go back to just being buddies.
New viewer question.
Yes. You want to hear the new viewer questions?
Probably not.
Mm.
I'm not
How,
that sweet.
how would Uncle Tony compare his channel's style to that of Nick's Garage? Want to set my expectations to this channel.
We're completely different.
Yeah.
We are absolutely, we're diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't, we have different ideology.
Right. Tim says, Tony, the haters aren't going to tear you down, are they? We all need, not want. We need UTG videos.
No.
No, not at
I
all.
ain't going anywhere. I'm fine with the haters. Bring me haters. You want to be a hater? You can be a hater. You sure? Yeah. All right. Buff, if you.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I actually commented on a live show maybe 3 weeks ago. I believe you was thinking I was being negative because I commented I was at Buffalo Valley
Okay.
the night before, and
Speak up.
a Dodge Dart blew up and shut the track down for 40 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I commented, I said, Mopar shut the track down last night for 40 minutes. And he's like, oh, because I'm a Mopar guy. You know, I'm a Mopar guy too. I just,
Yeah,
you
but I've
know,
also got
I was
an
trying to make it short where you guys would read it, you know.
I've got an asshole sense of humor too,
Right.
so it's like I was probably just being a wise ass.
Ryan says, looking to move to Tennessee from New York. How do you guys like it?
This is the greatest place on earth. I've been here for 17 years, and I wouldn't.
Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee. You know, I can't speak for East or West Tennessee. I don't know those
Right.
places the way I know Nashville. But I feel grateful to be a part of this place every single fucking day.
Yeah, it's good. And don't forget, Uncle Crystal does real estate.
Yeah. No, I'm biting my nails. I got a broken nail last night. A broken nail.
Robert wants to know, is the AC working in my car?
Yeah.
What's
Frosty
Tony's
cold AC.
What's Tony's horoscope sign? He's a Taurus. He's a Taurus. Let's see. It's called Tough Love to a New Driver. If we don't have people like Tony, then there would be no one to teach Lamb Chop and the younger hot rodders how to drag race and fix cars.
You know, one of the guys who I helped get a license was a fellow named Dale McDougal, and he just died recently. I don't know from what, but he had a fuel altered, and he was really hard to. He had a really thick fucking head. It was hard to get stuff through to him. But him, I remember very distinctly. There were times that I was like, because he would do things that would like
Speak up.
possible. He would do things that could have gotten himself killed really easily. But I don't know why I brought that up. But yeah, I was. The drill sergeant was strong with him.
So how did you do eventually?
He got his license. He did good.
Olive says, just seemed like coaching to me.
That's what it was.
I guess it depends on what you're used to.
Depends on what you want to see.
That as well.
Right. Perception is reality.
That as well. What are you looking for?
Mm-hmm. Right. You want to see a mean asshole.
Right.
You're going to see a
You're
mean
gonna
asshole.
see it,
You
right.
want to see a dedicated coach. You're going to see a dedicated. It just depends on what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's see.
Beautiful night.
It is a nice. Learn a lot by Jeremy Tidd sent you $20.
Thank you, Johnny.
Please do an Uncle Kathy and Uncle Tony engine build this fall. Oh, brother.
I'm going to do a blindfolded engine build.
Are you?
Yeah, in the fall.
Do we need to do that?
Yes, we do.
It's a Ford?
I don't know. Like if we had something to build,
No,
we
we gotta
could.
do them all. If we're going to do a blindfolded, it's got to be a Nova.
Do you want to build something
oh,
with
I
me?
remember. It was a big block or something, wasn't it?
I'll probably do a 3D trick.
I've got a 33 build.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it complete?
Yeah. It was a pretty new engine when it come out of the rock crawler truck,
Okay.
and somehow it got a leaky head gasket.
Okay.
We took it out. It was fine. Put it in the shed. About 6 months later, I went to spin it over by hand, and it would spin like halfway,
Cylinder's full of water.
and it was rusty from
Okay.
that part of the cylinder up.
Yeah, maybe
I
we'll
pulled
do
the
something
heads
like that.
off. No blown gasket. I don't know if it didn't seal good
Wait.
or what.
In the fall, I'm gonna do a blindfolded engine build.
You don't want to build something with me, Tony?
You could do it with me.
Blindfolded?
Well, you don't have to.
Two blindfolded people building
Okay.
an engine? That'd be fun.
All right. Let's see.
There are certain engines I could do blindfolded with my feet.
With your feet?
Oh, I gotta see.
No, you can't do that. Stop exaggerating.
I bet you I could.
Don't exaggerate. 69 Dartman
The
says,
compressor, put it together with your feet.
when I was running my guys, I tried to be cool and not scream, but sometimes you have to yell and swear to get the point across.
That's the whole point. You got when you're teaching somebody, it doesn't matter what you're teaching them to do. When you're teaching somebody to do whatever task it is, sometimes you have to get them out of their own head. You have to get them out of their own head and focused on into the zone that they need to be, and that's when you have to yell. That's when you ever see like a movie like Full Metal Jacket, right? The drill sergeant, the yelling and the tearing people down and all this other shit, right?
I kind of like things not to be like Full Metal Jacket.
No, but the
It's
purpose,
a little
the
extreme.
purpose, the reason that's done, right, is to get the person who you're targeting, who you're trying to teach, who you're trying to like mold, out of their own head,
Right.
right? So some people, they come out of their own head easy. You go, hey, pay attention, right? And boom, they're right with you. And other people, you literally have to shift their reality, and you do that by yelling at them, by throwing something, by insulting them, by doing whatever it happens to be. It appears to be mean, but that meanness is the reason you're being mean is to get them out of their own head and into your head so they can see things the way you see them. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. About how much wheel time does he actually have with that car?
You just saw it.
Yeah, you just saw it. That whole thing. We didn't leave anything out.
Right.
You get
Has
to
he
see
raced
everything.
very much?
No, he's raced nothing. No.
Never.
No.
Okay.
The only other seat time he's had with that car is just driving it in and out of the lot. Just to say, here's the shifter feel good, here's the clutch feel good to you, right? So you just driving around easy outside the place where we put it together. That's the only driving he had with the car. So last night was literally his first time attempting to make that fucking car go anywhere.
What's with the headlights on? Or is that everybody, or is that just something you do?
They told him to put the headlights on, so he put the headlights on.
Oh,
They kept
okay.
shutting them off, he kept putting them back on.
Okay.
But I wasn't gonna go.
I just never seen that before.
PC Term says, if everything was right, would Uncle Tony go back and drive a fuel car?
Nah.
No, right. You never liked driving. You never wanted to
I'm
drive.
not a driver. I don't like driving.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's not that. It's funny to you. I'm a mechanic. I enjoy. I was watching this. There's a show. I don't know if you ever seen this guy, Ant Anstead. He was on the Wheel of Dealers. You know the guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's got his own show now called Ant Anstead Master Mechanic. Right. So I'm watching a couple of episodes of this. And he's building a car. He's building this race car. It's a replica of a Ferrari, an earlier Formula One Ferrari, or was it a Ferrari? Is it a Ferrari? No, it wasn't a Ferrari. It was whatever it is. He's building this thing. And he's building it from scratch, right? Like literally from scratch. And I'm watching it, and at some point he says, I'd rather be in the garage than at the racetrack. And I'm like, man, yeah. I agree exactly. If I never had to go to if I never actually had to physically go to a fucking racetrack and could just do my thing in the garage, yeah, I'd be all about that. So I'm not into driving. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not into watching stuff. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. I like to work with with the machinery.
But you enjoy tuning too.
I enjoy
You like being at the track and tuning stuff.
And when I'm doing that, I generally fucking hide.
Hmm.
You know, because when I get in that zone, I don't want to talk to anybody. Right?
Right.
So like, if you see me, if we're at the track and I'm with a car, right? If I'm there to do a job, don't talk to me, right? You know, like, I literally I'll go. There were a couple of events. I was tuning a car for a fellow named Frank Jonquin from Canada. I was what the hell was it? It was a funny car race at Englishtown, and we won it. We had top speed and low ET in the meet. And they never left his trailer through the entire thing. I never left the fucking trailer, you know, because I needed to stay in the fucking zone, and all I wanted to do was read the input from the car when it came back, read the plugs, read the bearings, you know, read the clutch, read all of the things.
That's what you like doing, reading stuff.
That's what I like
Like
to
I
do.
know when you were watching Bottle Rocket, you were seeing so many different things going on with the car besides Lamb Chop driving and the
Yeah.
way he was driving.
Right.
You were watching.
That's what I do.
car.
That's what
Right.
I like to do.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you love.
That's what I love. I have driving does nothing for me. Watching stuff does nothing for me. I like to tune. I like to think. I like to diagnose. That's what I like to do.
What's up, Zero?
Zero, what's going on, brother man?
Let's see. Are we going to Carlisle?
You know that zero is the next step in the next phase of human evolution.
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We going to
Zero.
Carlisle?
I'm not going to Carlisle because I'm not going any place I got to wear a fucking mask. And I
Okay.
don't want to be surrounded by people who wear masks. It's too fucking creepy for me. No, I'm not going to Carlisle.
You know, you gotta wear a mask going to a bank now. Does that make any sense?
I
mean,
My bank, no.
It used to be if you went in the bank with a
Oh,
mask
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah, that's
but
true.
now, I'm supposed
Yeah,
to-
that's right. Certain places, yeah, you're right.
Dakota says, can you ask Tony and Buff and the guy with the 440 satellite how they like to get cars down to the bare metal? I'm using paint stripper and a die grinder in my Trans Am. Any better ways?
Tie grinder.
Ooh, that sounds
Tie grinder
good.
sounds a little rough.
Yeah.
I've never stripped a car all the way
I've
down,
never
but I
taken mine to the title.
stripped airplanes.
I
all the way
have.
down.
I've
Yeah.
stripped a car down
Uncle
to the metal.
Kathy,
Wow, what'd you use?
I used paint stripper and a pair of vice grips and a razor blade.
That's right.
Ah,
And it works really, really well.
Yeah. But how long did it take you?
It took me about a week. But
It's a
it
mess,
worked
Joe.
really, really well.
What'd you do with the mess? It just fall on the floor?
Falls on the floor, dries up, and you sweep it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I usually try, yeah, the mess is the worst part.
Yeah, just don't try and pick it up when it's wet. Let it dry out.
Why didn't I?
Is it Uncle Kathy?
You're not me, Buff.
I said
That's why you're buff, and that's Uncle Kathy.
That's right. Let's see. PC Term says you have to remember you're at a drag strip and sometimes you have to holler. So one, the other person can hear you, and two, you're trying to make a point. That's true. A lot of times you gotta talk loud because there's a lot of noise going on. Why the potato quality? Because I haven't had time to go get a new phone.
Oh, it's bad again. Last week was really
Yeah, somebody said it was good earlier today.
good. Last week was really good.
I don't think everybody gets the same feed.
Yeah, I
don't
don't know.
I think maybe it has to do which satellite it fucking bounces off of.
We're crazy busy.
We are
Like,
ridiculously
really
busy.
crazy busy. We don't stop moving. Jade says, would a 66 Cadillac Coupe de Ville original engine be a good first car classic for daily driving?
Yes and no. The problem with Cadillacs is that they're very complicated cars. They pack a lot of shit in those things. They're good cars. They're good motors. I'm not going to say anything derogatory. I actually happen to love 60s Caddies. But for a first car, unless you're really good, unless you're really mechanically inclined and you've got some hands-on experience, I don't think I would recommend it. Or if you're wealthy, you know what I mean? If you've got a lot of scuttles and you could just pay somebody who knows what they're doing to go through the cars, then it's a good choice. But I would pick something a little simpler. You know what I'm saying? A little more basic of a car. With the Caddy, you're always going to be chasing little things. Hard to find parts, hard to get to parts, very complicated disassembly of things. You know what I'm saying? They're good cars, but not for a first time.
Benjamin C. says, it was clear he wasn't being hard on him. That is how men talk and teach. Raining Egg Roll says, I love your content, even for an EFI tech.
What was that?
I love your content, even for an EFI tech.
Oh, hey, I was racing EFI cars back in the 1980s. You know, I was like first guy in the EFI pool. So been there and done. I got the T-shirt. I just don't use it on any of my own cars, my own personal cars, things that I own and have to live under my roof and under my control. Have to have points, have to have carburetor. Done. And then I have my starter standard. I have unless the car can accept a standard Chrysler starter, right? I should do a video on this, right? So how do I pick the cars that fall into my life? All right. You know the old school Chrysler gear reduction starter? The big one, the one that goes, right? That one, right? Unless you can take that starter and bolt it directly in place with no modifications, I will not own that car. That doesn't mean I use that starter. I use mini starters in a lot of my cars. But unless that starter was physically bolted with no modifications at all, including to the wiring, I will not own that car. Which means that I will never own a 66 to 69 4-speed Hemi car because they used the direct drive starter. I won't have one of those cars. Car has to. That's my standard for cars. That's my standard.
Is that where you can buy a starter anywhere?
It's so that I keep things uniform.
Okay.
It means that I can keep things on the shelf that I never have to worry about. Oh, I have to hunt this down. I have to get that. Or my shit's gonna be down while I trace this out or find that. Or this company went out of business, so this is all obsoleted. So I gotta get this shit. That may be fine for other people. For me, fucking no. I would rather walk. I would rather rent the fucking car.
That's real aggravating.
Vincent says, harmonic balancer video, Tony?
What about that's a good question, Vince. What exactly would you want to see? What would it be a good video on harmonic balances?
Let's see. Chantel says, hubby's got a 383 Dodge Piston. Got broken skirt. Should he run it?
No, don't run the piston with the broken skirt.
Not a good idea.
Well, if it's a little tiny chip missing off of it, I wouldn't worry about it. But if it's actually got a broken skirt, no, don't run that.
What's up, Robert Gavin? Did Lamb Chop's helmet fit right? It looked too small in the video.
That was actually my helmet, the red, white, and blue one. But he had this leather, like aviator helmet.
Like from World War I?
Well, he had a World War I helmet. And I said, I'm going to put this one on top of that. So he took my helmet and put it on top of his helmet.
That's a 100-year-old helmet.
Buffalo Valley has very lax tech. You pay your $10 and
You're
you go
good to
down
go.
the track.
Do
Which
they
is
look at
why
the
I
car?
go there.
Do they look at the cars?
No, they don't look at the
really?
car. They actually try not to look at the car. They put the number on the car like this. They cover their eyes.
Oh, I like this.
Vincent says, wear and tear on harmonic balancer and any tips for putting them on and performance applications.
Okay. Fair enough. That actually ties into a video that I was thinking about doing this week on total timing. Let me think about that, but thank you for the suggestion. That's actually really good.
Granny's Garage is asking about total timing as well.
Yeah, that's in my head, and I would have done that video today, except fucking exhausted. So maybe tomorrow or the next day.
What are you tired from, Tony?
What time did you get out of there last night? What time did you get home last night?
We got home about midnight, but
Yeah.
but you gotta realize, I spent the day yesterday,
That's
the day, getting everything fucking ready to go. Then and then this morning, and so
It's a long day.
yeah.
John Wilburn sent you 1111. He says
Thanks,
EFI has no soul, carburetors forever. Thank you, John. Uh, let's see. Um, Ronald says never strip a car to bare metal. Go to a factory primer and use it for base blocking, then build with part 2 sandable.
And how do you know precisely where to stop?
Mm.
You see sparks? Oh no.
No, you'd have to stop before you saw sparks because he wants you to
Yeah, I know.
factory primer on them.
Joking.
How many laser straight panels have you come across that you could just block original down to the original primer without having any high or low fucking spots? Be realistic.
Don't go through the primer.
John Trudell says, why doesn't Tony take Lammy for a ride and teach him how to do a burnout and shift? He's yelling. Shift.
First off, doing a burnout with that type of tire is not a good thing. All I wanted him to do was clean them off. Basically just rev the engine, pop the clutch, let the tires spin for a couple of seconds, and then that's it. A hard street rubber tire, when you heat them up like with a normal type of burnout, they ball up. They either become, they go one of two ways. They'll get greasy, right, and slippery because the oils sweat out of them. Remember, they're not intended to be heated like that. So they'll sweat oils and they'll also ball up. They're not intended to stretch the way a racing slick is. They're intended to hold together for the road, to last a long time on the road. So when you can do burnouts for fucking shits and giggles if you want. But if you're running a hard compound street tire, like a regular everyday buy it anywhere tire, you do not want to do a burnout at the drag strip with it. All you want to do, rev it up, pop the clutch, or if you got an automatic, just power brake it, you go around the water, maybe back into the water, just get a little water on the tire, power brake it just for a few seconds, right? Just to clean it and get all of the scuzz off of it, and then stage the car. So I'm not going to teach the Lamb Chop how to do a burnout with the car until it's necessary to do a fucking burnout, if it is. And as far as power shifting, he's not ready for that yet.
You gonna gas weld a roll bar into bottle rocket with a coat hanger?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
Tom Kilgore, how would you build a 318 for your perfect daily driver if you didn't have the 360?
Bottle rocket's engine. I would choose a different cam. Bottle rocket's engine would be the perfect daily driver with a mellower cam.
Okay. Matthew says, what's a better motor to build, Pontiac 400 or 455, and why?
They're kind of like about the 455 Pontiacs, the size of the main bearings on there. It takes a ton of oil to keep those motors happy. I would probably build the 400. The 400 was like the choice motor for a lot of Pontiac guys for years. I think it's a better motor. That said, there's nothing wrong with it's not that the 455 is a grenade. I would stay away from anything with cast rods. Those aluminum, the armored cast rods, bad news. But there was a guy on Staten Island when I was a kid, right? I think his name was Joey Pastilli. I don't remember his name exactly, right? This is like in the middle 1980s, like 1985. So he had a red Trans Am, and it had a Pontiac motor in it, and it had a blower on it, had a 671 blower. And you can hear this thing coming from blocks away, right?
The lighting is really bad. They're telling me to move. Go ahead. Keep talking.
So one night we're sitting around, right? And somebody makes we're sitting on the corner, Highland Boulevard,
Okay.
New York Lane, right? There was a 7-Eleven there. So we're sitting there in the parking lot, and here comes Joey Pastilli's Trans Am, right? So as that car's sitting there at the light, somebody says something about Pontiac motors. And then somebody else said something about, they all sound like they're in pain, right? And like we're kind of like ragging on Pontiac motors. And he decides he's going to put on a show for us. So the light turns green, and he flat foots it. and literally blew the crankshaft out of the fucking motor into the ground. There was the rods. The rods shattered. It had those armor cast Pontiac rods.
You know, all the light's in your face and all the dark is in our face.
Yeah, I'm
You
so.
wanna,
You should probably sit in front of the truck because that looks clear.
or just switch
Oh, sorry, here?
directions.
You get a lot of light behind you.
Is this better?
Yeah, I can see better. Come on,
Or if
guys.
we just change directions. She'd be
Move
over
over.
here, we'd be over there. I don't know.
What's our time looking like?
We're on for 1:15. I don't know how much battery I got, but let's just keep going until we shut off. Yeah, it's better.
Cat, why don't you sit?
Huh?
What you sit?
Yeah,
4 chairs.
we might have light in our face now.
You have light in your face now?
Well, that's what you need, because your light was in your face and we were sitting in
So
the
what
dark.
happened to the neighbor with the long 68 Rover? Out in the video.
Yeah, he's a mechanic. He does a lot of he works for a lot of the consignment dealers.
You gotta speak up because I'm far away from you.
You got to come closer. Why are you so far away? You want us to wait? You want us to come down?
No, hang on.
I'll sit on the floor.
These are production issues, right?
These are production issues.
See, that's it's like a
All right,
dump
hang
truck
on. Well, now I don't have everybody in the shot. That's why I'm so far away. Okay, that's better.
now. Can't lean in too far. This is
The road runner,
Yeah, I know.
he's just sitting. He hasn't done anything with it. I think he ran it at Bowling Green and it's been sitting ever since. And he's got other projects that he's working on right now. But you should have that car back on it. It's a neat car.
It is.
Let's see. I don't know how much battery I got left. It's told me low battery, but it's not showing
Let's
me how
just
much.
go until it's. Let's just burn this fucking thing down. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah? It's probably gonna go off fairly soon. Because I don't know. 45 vacuum hoses coming off a carb is never good.
You must have a Honda.
Oh my god. Measure the hose in miles.
Do you remember those things?
Oh my god.
Did you ever see? You're too young to remember those.
Oh, like in the you're talking about the
Probably
80s.
so. I was born in 79. So.
Yeah, like late 70s,
Yeah,
late 70s, early 80s.
Hondas. It was the most ridiculous. Like you open the hood and it was just a sea of vacuum hoses. They had what was that thing? There was a box they had that had all of the vacuum. It had like 60 vacuum lines
Well,
went into
I
it.
remember the first time I saw it was I opened the hood, there's vacuum lines, and then on the bottom of the hood there's a vacuum diagram that looked
Yeah.
like the diagram from hell. And I was like, oh my god.
I remember the first time I dug into that. I was like, these people are trying to put us out. This is their revenge for World War II. This is revenge for Nagasaki. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we send around like this.
God, my car was built in Hiroshima. I
Um,
flew over with a Geiger.
What's the cam in Bottle Rocket?
It's a roller. Oh fuck if I remember now. It's 5'10", 5'14", 240, 242, 240, 240. I don't remember the duration on it. 236, 242, 236, and it's on 110 degree slope separation.
Ford Truck sent you $4.99.
Thank you.
Says have some smoke money, sick and stuck at home, then playing with horsepower. How was the turnout to the drag strip?
It was good. Watch the video.
Let's see. Let's see. Were you happy to have Bottle Rocket out? Like, did you actually have Butterfly having the car on the track after all this time? Did you have butterflies in your stomach?
No, I've done it one too many times.
How was the Tovia?
The thrill is gone.
Yeah, I had more butterflies getting there and getting home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, it was definitely more of a thing getting into the track.
Who's getting axed, Fubar? What's going on? Somebody's getting axed. I think it's Kenneth.
Football.
I don't know what's going on.
Don't mess with football.
Harry's involved. John's
Oh, shit,
involved.
they're all piling up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but Something's going on.
Something happened.
Chase says, well, bravo. I've had a lot of enjoyment on your build. Thank you, Chase. Oh, Bryce is saying that Kenneth dude is talking smack.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, let him talk whatever he wants.
Kenneth is starting trouble. All right. As long as if you're going to talk about us, whatever, but don't let him fight with people in the comments.
Yeah, as long as he's not fighting with people,
Right.
There's no hateful shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean towards us. That's fine, but I mean, no racial shit, no religious shit or anything like that. Then let them fucking say what they want to say.
Jupiter's Mustang Mike says, yeah, Ken's playing. Okay. I didn't see it. I just saw that the guys are talking about it. 79 Tasman says, it was great to see Bottle Rocket and Lammy beat the Chevy pickup and that mid-70s Camaro.
Yeah, he did win a couple of rounds. I mean, for what it's worth.
Oh, Joe Milburn says, I didn't ask anyone. Tony loves his trolls.
I do. I got no problem with the trolls.
Let's see. Which is better, 455 Pontiac or Buick?
I prefer the Buick.
It's awful loud out here tonight.
The Buick actually shares design lineage with the big block Mopar. The B series Mopar, released in '58, was the first of them, and then the same designer. I think the guy's name was Wienerman. I don't remember his name, but it was the same lead engineer for the big block Chrysler. Worked for General Motors Buick division and actually designed the big block Buick. And if you look, those engines have remarkable similarities. So I would say the definitely, for me personally, the Buick.
Bruce W says, hi from New Zealand. Just tuned in. Great to see Bottle Rocket.
What's going on, Bruce?
What's up, Bruce? Let's see. Keep saying low battery. We might cut out, guys.
Was
Jay-
it West coming from Manchester for this?
How far is it?
1 hour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he used an hour.
Yeah.
You guys having fun?
You
Yeah?
missed- You missed Buff's introduction to. He actually.
Yeah.
He
He
put
would've-
together the whole thing.
Had to rewrite that momentarily because there were no guests. He would have been the guest.
He would have. Yeah.
And
Funny.
somebody else is supposed to be here too.
Let's see. When do you plan to get back to the track?
Definitely not this week. Too many things going on. I'd like to go week after this, but that depends on the track schedule, test and tune, and Lamb Chop, because he's just this week he has to take another round of those drugs that he's on, and I don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in. So it's up in the air. I personally want to be out there, not this coming week, but the following week. But I have to see what happens.
Okay. Robert Galvin says salute. New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Back to the vacuum lines. 1984 Prelude.
Yeah, 94
Dual
Prelude.
carb.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, please. Don't. Yeah, just find a way around it. Find a way around
It's
it.
hard for me to read this because I have this so close to my face.
I don't know.
Yeah, to try and get you guys on. Are carbureted 80s GM products good first cars?
Absolutely, yes. Probably among the best first cars you could have.
What was that kind of car?
80s carbureted GM cars. You disagree?
Well, I don't know. That's a 40-year-old car, but yeah, you're right. Anywhere in the 70s or late 60s.
It's hard to go wrong with a carbureted small block Chevy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere from late 60s all the way through to, what, 81? After that, it was all fuel. Fuel
No.
injection, wasn't it?
No. 88 was the last year for the carburetor.
Really?
Yep.
Man. Okay. Probably will.
Most of them were fuel injected by then.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 305, the 4-barrel 305 hung in there until 88.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
With a 66 Pontiac Le Mans 326 be a good first car.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know
Daily
why?
driving.
Why?
Because it's a simple car, and later you can put a bigger engine in there and it won't bend. You know.
The 326 can actually work.
Oh, yeah.
I remember people playing with those motors back in the day.
Ari says I understand the superiority of the 350 Chevy in comparison to other Chevy small blocks. It's a great engine, but that doesn't negate the quality and tenacity of the 318.
I'm going to say that, yeah. It's not just because I'm a Mopar guy. You know, just speaking as a general car guy, general engine guy, yeah, man, it's hard to beat a small block Mopar. If you tear down a small block Chevy, a small block Ford, a small block Mopar, and you lay out the parts, and I'm going to do this video at some point, and you compare part for part, block for block, crank for crank, rod for rod, piston for piston, there is no comparison about the superiority of the big block Mopar. None. You have to actually see all of the parts laid out next to each other to understand what I'm talking about.
Have you toyed around with the new Street Demon carbs yet?
I have not.
No. When you put slicks on Bottle Rocket, will they be the same size as the street tires? If not, do you plan to change rear end gears?
Well, I'm looking at 8.5 by 28. I think that's the size we're going to go with on it. And no, I don't want to go any lower than the 410 because again, we're going to spray the car. So while it may be under geared, normally aspirated, it may be over geared on nitrous.
Okay. Dakota says I just got put in timeout for no reason. You gotta tell these guys to ease up. What'd you do, Dakota? No reason?
What is this?
What happened, Dakota? Ari says, Dakota, it's how we show you that we care, right? Tough love.
Tough love.
It's tough love, Dakota.
Dakota. But look, we got your own designated comment handler.
Right.
Designated comment.
Fubar says Ari gets it. Let's see. Jim says I put my question up 4 or 5 times. What do you need, a donation to answer a question? No, Jim. I need to be able to see it. Do you know how many questions come through and how fast this moves? I didn't see your question. If you put it up again, I'll try and catch it. Let's see. A 375 and a 318 on a 28-inch wide tire with spray should get 1050 at least.
We'll find out.
Okay. I'm looking for your question. I didn't see it yet.
Well, that's tough. That's a tough job. Sitting there
What?
trying to find those questions.
By the way,
Yeah, I
It
mean,
is.
I do not have the exact number because I have not weighed the car lately, all right? But I am going to say this about Bottle Rocket. It weighs approximately the same as a Bear Stripper 63 through 66 Valiant, 6-cylinder. It weighs approximately the same.
Do you have scales?
I borrowed a set of scales.
I've
and-
got a set of scales. You want to bring them down?
Would you bring them next week?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Bottle Rocket only weighs about as much as a Bear Stripper Plymouth Valiant.
Tony,
Looks can be very deceiving.
need your advice. Have a 383 Mopar 60 over. Quarter fingernail on a scratch on a cylinder wall. Would you consider it a crack? If so, what would you do with the block? 360 over.
And you've got a mark in there that you can catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I would say, yeah, definitely sleeve it. Except it's still a very common block. Mopar guys just generally tend to have those things piled up. So if you could find somebody in the area that's got one, I would try to get a different one before I sleeve that one. If it was a rarer engine or it had a significance that it was like numbers matching to the car, that sort of thing, then yeah, sleeve it. But it's probably not worth doing it. For just an average 383.
Oh, goodness. Well, Jim didn't put his question back up. I looked for it, Jim.
Maybe Jim just wanted to troll us.
Maybe Jim's just mad at me.
Maybe Jim's just mad at the world.
That's all right, Jim. We're not troubled by it.
Well, I am at some level.
You're troubled, Tony.
Yeah, at some level. You're troubled by it.
I tried, Jim. I really tried to help. All right. Which torsion bar do you have in Bottle Rocket?
Right now, they're the stock 318 with air conditioning bars. I'm looking for a set of slant 6 bars for it. They're not as common as they used to be.
Benjamin C. wants to know, can we get a clip of Dakota getting timed out in the UTG movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
and
can do
Zero
that,
shouting, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, we could actually, you know what? Let's, in the movie, let's get a pinata and call it Dakota.
Oh, Mo Pardon. He just said 1999 for Uncle Kathy's Garden. Mo Pardon, you're way too generous. You better send me an email, Mo Pardon. UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Good night, Rude Mopar dude.
Good night, brother man.
Watch, I'm probably missing Jim's question.
Man, that thing scrolls. It gets
I know.
It goes really
difficult.
fast.
It's difficult.
And it also, when it's on the phone, it also fades out. And
Yes.
I have to hit it so the comments come back again. I'm scrolling right now. This is not an easy job, guys.
No.
I was sitting there doing that, and I start talking slower, and they tell me I sound like Stephen Hawking.
What was Jim's question? I don't know, Gonzo.
She's like fucking NASA.
I'm like this.
Okay? She's like fucking NASA.
Very funny, Tony. Shaw says my upper radiator hose has air in it. Tried a new cap. Overflow bottle is regular. Parked it on a hill, nose up to get the air out. The next day, air again. Hose collapses when I rev it up. Help.
Okay. Cooling system.
Sorry, excuse me, guys.
Try it. He said he had a new cap.
Let me see. I gotta scroll back.
Wait, may I jump in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Depending on the type of radiator that it is, okay, you have two types of radiators. Ones that were commonly used, let's say from up until the 1960s, the late 1960s, 1970, and then the later ones. Earlier radiators have a large tank. Okay, they have no overflow. They have a large tank. And that tank is supposed to be empty. That's your airspace in there. So if you've got an older style radiator that has that tank that comes up like this, right? Only fill it to the level of the fins, the top of the tubes. If you go past the top of the tubes, it will piss out what it doesn't want, and it'll bring it back to around the level of the top of the tubes. Later style radiators that have that flat sort of tank, those use an overflow. So if you have an earlier style radiator that has that kind of tank, and the top radiator hose is empty, that's fine. That's the way it's actually supposed to be. But if you've got a later style tank, flat top style tank with a coolant overflow bottle, then you've got a problem of some sort. I have no idea how you're getting air in that.
That's why I was asking about the cap, because then the overflow system will work if he has an overflow system. If not, it'll just naturalize to where it wants to be, unless it's me.
All right, so now I'm paranoid about reading any comment by somebody named Jim.
What? Oh, Jim.
But I think you just answered this. Guy 360 over, quarter fingernail on a scratch, right?
Is that Jim?
Yeah, on
What,
a
you happy,
cylinder
Jim? I
wall.
answered your damn question.
Would you consider it a crack? If so, what would you do with the block Mopar 360 over?
I answered that question.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Right.
All right, anybody else named Jim have a
And
question?
you didn't even have to make a contribution. Mopar Den made the contribution
For you.
Thank Mopar Den.
Oh my goodness. Fubar sent $10. Tire fund for Bottle Rocket.
Thank you,
Fubar,
Fubar.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bruce W. Have you ever seen these Jeep 4.0 inline six engines? There's on these, and they're
Yeah.
stroking them a bit and making over 300 horsepower.
Yeah, they're great engines. I mean, I've never actually, short of, repairing them or doing whatever, I've never actually worked with them. But yeah, there's people who do amazing things with those motors.
What's up, Dickie Farley?
And I like them especially because they're the last vestige of AMC engineering.
Ben Swap, 68 New Yorker 440 with messing with Tony. Does it have a cool factor?
Yeah, it's got a cool factor. It's cool. 68 New York.
Everyone spam Jim's question. All right. Okay, yeah, he answered it. All right. I think we're okay.
Are we good now, Jim?
I think so.
We're
I'm
okay?
so behind. Like, I'm still scrolling. There's so many comments.
No.
Yep, we answered it. Okay. You're welcome, Jim. What should I look for when buying a used 360?
I mean, they don't have any particular, standard issues to say, oh, this is a trouble point, watch out for this, watch out for that. They're good motors. I mean, nothing in particular stands out. Nothing that would be any different than any other engine, let's just say.
Mickey Mouse wants to know, are you all going to be out next weekend? He's going to try and drive up from Houston.
Do not drive up from Houston for this. It's bad enough these guys come from an hour away. You're out of your fucking mind if you're going to come from
Well, maybe
Houston.
he means the track. We're not going to the track next weekend.
Well, you'd be out of your fucking mind to come from Houston to go to the track over here either. Just watch the videos and be happy with that.
He's at his point with that car where it's gotten its own gas and it's gone for coffee, and now it's going to
Now it's going to-
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Lucas says, friend has a Carb 302 that he rebuilt, but it will not idle without 20 initial timing and seems to miss pretty badly. Been over entire ignition system / fuel system. Where should I look? Cam timing?
You won't idle over without. Yeah, you know what? Check the cam timing because that sounds very much like I had a Slant 6 a while ago, that brand new cam from a extremely well-known, reputable cam manufacturer company, and it was ground 11 degrees retarded. Right? Put the thing in, like just dot to dot. I didn't bother checking because it's like, why even bother checking? This isn't the kind of thing, This wasn't a high science build. This was just send it, right? And couldn't get it to run without 30 degrees of fucking ignition timing. So yeah, check that. Could very well be.
He keeps telling me low battery. I don't know. We've been low battery for a while. Tony is hilarious.
No, I'm an asshole.
Brian C says generic comment. Let's see.
So did they take care of that cam?
No, I didn't even bother. I just
so you don't
agreed
know.
it.
You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, you just fixed it.
Ryan
Yeah.
says, I just joined in the live show. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Should I get a dirt swinger after I'm done helping with my uncle's 360 Dakota we're building? I want my own project for high school badly.
Yeah, I mean, if you get yourself, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dirt swinger's a good car.
We have several darts. I love them.
That's my favorite daily driver.
Yeah, Uncle Kathy.
Yeah.
It has the Uncle Kathy silver tooth. Like, she really doesn't like A-body.
No, I'm not an
She's
A-body
a B-body
person.
But her favorite daily driver is a swinger.
Yeah.
Years ago, I sold my '69 Dart. I wish I had.
We all wish you had.
I still have it. Yeah.
Any snippets on the Slant 6 Turbo?
Nothing yet. Probably won't see anything on that car.
Couple
Jim
weeks,
Denny-
right?
Yeah, he's busy. It'll be a couple weeks before we get back to that. I am going to check in on Kiwi tomorrow and see how we're doing with the Hemi.
Use that battery brick, Kathy. Yeah. Let's see. Jim Hardy says, thank you for answering my question on 383. Have a nice night. You're welcome, Jim.
Anytime.
Guys, if you write questions like 3, 4, 5 times and I don't see them, it's not because I'm like deliberately not answering you. It's because we get so many comments. Sometimes they scroll by really fast. So just keep going. I'll try and get it if I can. Jamo Shotrod says, just watch the vid from the track. I loved it. Understand the frustration of trying to explain how to drive, but I could see him learning. Good. Lucas says thanks. 69 Dartman says darts are great cars, but I'm biased and I still have my 69 too. Got my license in it. Very cool. You should learn to read like the FedEx guy. How's the FedEx guy read? Actually, it's hard for me to read because the phone is very close to my eyes right now. Because I'm trying to get all three guys in the shot. You guys having fun?
I'm fine.
Are you having fun?
You guys want to race?
You want to race? You can race around the truck.
Race.
Let's see who wins.
But the two of us will. No.
From
Well,
pole to pole.
I'm
Well,
66 years old. I'm fat. He looks like a guy that's much younger in good shape. So
I think he'll give you lanes in the break.
I don't think that's.
No?
Grab a race eating a sandwich.
Kurt says, Uncle Kathy, that's me. Works very hard making these streams. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate that.
Uncle Kathy is the hardest working person in showbiz.
Oh, am I? Really?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Do you run 14-inch rims on any of your cars?
Sure. Most
Yeah.
of my cars. Well, I don't say most of them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like 5 out of 12 have 14-inch tires.
Okay. Air fixes. Tony, do you listen to music while you drive around or no music so you can hear the car?
I like to listen to the car.
Yeah, we don't have a car with a radio that works. They have radios, but they don't work.
I like to listen to the car.
Yeah. Do you think the Swinger can get a radio that works?
Yeah, sure.
It has AC.
You
Might
want
as well.
You want all the luxuries.
Yeah.
You want all the
Power
luxuries, right?
A
No problem, I
radio
understand.
and AC.
wiper.
Just
I
one
understand,
car.
I understand.
Just one car.
I know, I get it.
Leather.
I know. I'm high maintenance now. Right? Right?
You ask for a radio, you're gonna get a radio.
Okay. Do you have any parts hoarded in the attic?
Yeah.
Actually, I was up there the other day and I was like, we got to clean this out.
Yeah, a lot of parts up there.
Yeah.
It's heavy. Maybe they'll come down.
They may come down on their own.
Ryan says radio a luxury in 2020. Laugh out loud. Did you guys not hear that Tony is like automotive Amish?
Yeah, I
Mechanical
am the one with
Amish. Let's see. Gonzo says, ask your question first nicely. Then no reply, capitalize the font, caps locked. Honestly, Gonzo, it does help.
Yeah.
It helps me to see it. You know, if you've got
Yeah,
caps in there.
if you try to ask a question or make a statement
Right.
like a few times and we keep missing it, throw it all in
Yeah, it
caps.
helps me see it. Northern Grit says, I'll take some attic parts. We really got to clean it out. It's too hot up there right now, though. High maintenance women with air conditioned cars. Yeah.
You know, listen,
What's
you
next?
gotta
Indoor
get what you
plumbing?
want, you know what I'm saying? She wants air conditioning, she got it. She wants a radio, she's gonna get a radio. She's got power steering. I mean,
I know. Crazy. What's up, Zero?
Power windows next.
no.
No,
you gotta
no,
do
we
it
can't have power
one.
windows.
Gotta do it one.
We
No
have to
power
have
brakes,
crank.
No power.
Eight-way power seats.
I agree.
Let's see.
Take one of those seats out of the car. You need 4 people to get the thing out of the car.
Tula says, my daily has a stock Delco AM, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, lots of our cars have the stock radios in it, but none of them work.
Yeah. Phyllis says, I do miss the aftermarket radio days badly. Today's integrated system have lots of bells and whistles, but I love the old 3-hole dashboard receivers. They're a lot stronger too.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want anything fancy. Just the stock radio. That's fine.
But there's nothing on the stock radio.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
Radio's not
You
working.
can listen to mariachi music.
That's
and
fine.
religious-
Fine. I'll take AM radio. That's fine. It's part of my high maintenance. Need thoughts on a carb for my friend 67 Carnet Slant 6. He's turbring. I have no idea because I don't do much with carbs, and it's the first slant I will have ever worked on.
I have no idea what you're doing with it.
Yeah,
If
you need
you,
specifics.
yeah, you got to be more specific. If it's a one barrel, if you're using the stock one barrel, go with the Carter BBS. It's easier carburetor to work with than the Holly, the 1920 Holly. If you're starting from scratch, try to find a 2-barrel Super 6 intake manifold and use a Carter BBD on it, or from the 318. Perfect combination for a driver's license.
Mopar Dan wants to know what would make my 64 Darts taillights be at the brake level without touching the brake. Then when I push the brake with the parking lights off, the brakes and license plate bulb go on.
They go
Something is-
on?
Yeah, something is
You
bad.
got a ground screwed up somewhere.
It's not, it's
probably.
not a ground. It's got a one of the 1157 bulbs has the filaments crossed. You know
Oh,
how
I
that
know.
happens. Yeah, you've got a
Usually it's
back-feeding
grounds.
bulb someplace. You've got 1157 bulbs. Start going through them. I can't tell you where it is exactly, but start going through them. Those are dual filament bulbs, and sometimes one filament will break loose and cross the other one. And then you'll get all sorts of weird issues, and you'll step on the brakes, the dashboard lights will come on, all kinds of crazy shit like that.
Just take out one bulb at a time.
Ari says he'd be so stoked to play his Sam and Dave 8-track.
Yeah,
You could put a tape player.
you want an 8-track?
8-tracks are expensive though.
They are.
The stock ones.
They are.
Aftermarket, I don't know. Probably those two.
Because if you want an 8-track, I'll go get you a Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
No, thank you. Kurt Zimmerman sent $10. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
the
Kurt.
drag strip video. Looked like fun. Thank you, Kurt. Let's see. Where do you find a steel head gasket for the Slant 6? I have an 87 block. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. And you don't find them. They're not around anymore. I have a couple of them stashed, but nobody makes them anymore.
So eBay?
Yeah, eBay. I mean, you might want to find some obsolete, parts houses, places that deal in obsolete parts, but you have to hunt for it if you want to find them. And I'm not giving up any that I have.
You're not gonna share?
No. Well, I am. I'm sharing one with Jim. I'm giving one to Jim.
How
Okay.
thick are those?
Compressed thickness is 18 thousandths.
So they're about like 20 thousandths originally, or what?
Something like that. But it's the compressed thickness that you're
Yeah.
worried about.
Just think I'll make them.
If you had to buy a new car today, what would it be?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, 65 Belvedere or something.
Define new.
Yeah,
Just
just
what I'm saying,
it's-
define new.
It's in a dealer. I
What
forgot
kind of car
about
would
it.
you buy?
I probably wouldn't. I've been driving
Well, you know what I got? I got the Salamander.
2000 Silverado since 2000.
Salamander.
Well, that's pretty new. Well, to me, that's from the future.
Got Mazda 6. He says it looks like a Salamander. I started looking at it. It does.
It does, right? They're starting to style our cars to represent our reptilian overlords. To get us
I said-
ready for
I said that, yeah.
that next
Mhm.
step.
Yeah.
What's the next step of cars?
No, the next step in
Oh, I see.
in the bigger picture.
Who got the Ram Charger? Anybody we know?
Yeah, my friend Benny.
Okay. Stan Lincoln says one of my favorite parts about going to the drag strip is sitting in the top of the bleachers and watching guys that bet on races on cars they've never seen before. That's half the fun for him.
Oh, the $2 window. I used to love that in Englishtown. Any of you guys from there? I guess every track has its $2 window, but the one in Englishtown was really intense.
Yeah, they had fun.
I was often the only white guy there.
How do you feel about resto mods?
Not my cup of tea.
Sam T says Walmart sells a $25 Bluetooth receiver. It's actually pretty decent. I didn't really think I want anything electronic in the car.
Well, the Bluetooth thing is good because then you can run it off your phone. If you have something on your phone you want to listen to, you can Bluetooth
Well, I could
it.
just turn my phone on then.
But you
I
can't hear it
could-
through your phone because you're driving. The volume isn't enough. So if you run it through the radio,
Yeah, we don't have speakers either.
Well, you would get speakers.
No.
to go-
Radio without speakers is just, that's just great.
Right. Uncle Tony, should I come and swap my 72 Imperial?
No.
No. Siri, play Kathy's Clown. Very funny. I'm not doing Siri. We don't do that. We don't do Alexa. We don't have any of that stuff. Are you kidding me?
We were like completely on the Ouija board.
Right. Like the Amish.
Yes.
Right. Roll up your windows. Yeah. Walmart has good 50-cent mini pies. Mm.
There you go.
Nitro Story?
No.
No. Okay. We're almost 2 hours in.
Yeah, we're gonna call it quits at the 2-hour mark.
I've been in this position for 2 hours.
I know that. I know that.
Okay.
How much time we got left?
For what?
How much time we got left?
Time do we have left?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So we
Before
get
the 2 hours.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, guys. 10 more minutes, and we're gonna wrap it up.
How's the 5.7 Hemi project going along?
I'm gonna check on Kiwi tomorrow.
Okay, Buddy bought a new Camaro or Challenger. Boy has to go to the station every 3 days. Let's see. Put a couch in the van next time. No. That would be too luxurious.
If I put a couch in here, I've contemplated making this thing all posh.
No, yeah, it would.
But, you know,
It's
the
not
thing
good for our needs.
is, yeah, then we would lose its purpose as a
Yeah.
box truck when we need it as a box truck.
Right. Tell a 9-minute story.
No.
No.
I may do something like
Good
Ian
night,
did.
Zero.
Did you see what Ian did with the things that came down like this?
Yeah, you're not good at that. Don't try and do that. You're not Ian.
I know that. I'm not Ian. But I
Yeah,
can
do
dream,
what you
can't I?
do. You can dream, but don't try it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, do what you do. Everybody has different strengths. Zed says I deserve a raise. 2 hours in the same spot. Yeah,
Oh, she's done
without
like-
an anti-stress
she's done
mat.
5.
What?
13 and a half one.
I did 13 and a half. But I was allowed to move.
How long did you make it on the New Year's show?
I lost my voice at 13.
Oh, I was there, but I mean, it was not 13. Was it 13 hours? Oh God, I didn't think it was that long.
Has
Yeah.
any one of you guys built a Cadillac motor for racing? And what do you think of them torque monsters?
I haven't. I mean, I know some guys build them. I don't know. I don't know the shortcomings, so I really couldn't. I couldn't answer that.
Scott's sending love from Montana. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
Same to
Scott. Let's see. Good night, Corey.
Dakota's been awfully quiet.
I haven't seen anything
I
from
hope
him
he's okay.
recently. I don't know. Maybe he's in timeout.
It's a time out.
Did you come up with the remedy? Hang on. Remedy for the Gen 3 Hemi oiling problems.
I have not. I haven't thought about it since. But I'll be back on it. The blog is still at the machine shop. I have no idea when it's going to be done. Once I've got it back in my hands, we'll get back on it. But I got too many other things going on right now to really think about that.
Oh, Dakota's here. He says, I remember that live. Your voice went on a break.
Yeah.
You lost your voice for weeks. We could barely make video.
Yeah, it was
That was
rough.
terrible.
I think you were the first one of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It was.
We were both really sick.
Man, it went on forever. I
Yep.
remember that.
We were sick for a solid 6 weeks.
Yep. 7.
And I thought I was going to die at one point because I couldn't
So did
breathe.
No, we definitely had.
No, that was the sickest I've ever been. Tony, would you paint Bottle Rocket F4 green in memory of my 71 318 Dart?
Yeah, I appreciate the. No, it's going to stay. I love the patina that's on the car. I just want to preserve what's there. It's perfect.
Plus keep the weight off.
What's that?
Plus keep the weight.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Dakota says I've been typing up a storm. Good night, Rudy.
And I really,
Gonza says Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, guys.
to the swimmers that need it.
What was that?
To the swimmers that need it. Thanks, guys. You made my day. Thank you, Curtis. Did someone say Tang? Dakota. No real race parts for Cadillac motors, and parts are hard to find now.
There is one company that makes Caddy race parts, but I can't remember the name of it. But that's the total thing is Cadillac motors.
Let's see.
Back in the 80s, though, I tell you, I remember there was a bunch of guys that were spraying Caddy motors, and they were fucking pulling for the day. You know.
Oh, we're done.
I forget. That was
Yeah.
We're done.
we're done.
Yep.